So what did I think about Katt Williams basically saying he was sorry for Michael Jackson jokes and how he got cool with Janet Jackson and it made him look at things and how the industry uses you and pits you against black folks, etc. He still ain't funny. And he was out of pocket. I didn't find anything good about what he said. I've always found Cat to be one of those guys who has truth in what he says. I mean, a lot of stuff he's seen up close, and there is definitely an agenda to keep him on the tubey tubes, if you will, and lowball him. But I just don't find him necessarily that funny. I just think a lot of times he's vulgar and he sets off to kind of, he has his place, but it doesn't go but so far. But see, this is the thing. You can be funny and you can diss somebody, but you keep a perspective. When Eddie Murphy would talk trash about Michael, they did a running game, but it was a balance. When Chris Rock does it, he came across mean spirited. Especially when you have your own dealings and stuff. You don't really have a lot of room in Hollywood to talk about nobody. But let me keep it 100. I call cap on all them entertainers because they all know everybody's business. There's open secrets. Everybody shares agents. It's just like the NBA, NFL, baseball, soccer leagues. Cats know. They talk. They gossip. Dudes are worse than women with it because they put everybody's business out on Broad Street. But when it come to find out that it really ain't there, they walk with the head between their legs. He is saying he's sorry because Janet was humble enough and said she liked him. And he is a good entertainer. He has his charisma for what he does. And there's a whole lot of politics why he wasn't half as big as Kevin Hart or what have you. You can debate all that. The whole thing with Steve Harvey, etc. And he did tell a lot of truths about what he said. And there's still a lot more coming. But where it pertains to Michael Jackson, if you really do your due diligence about Michael Jackson and you claim to, and Cat did buy him a studio for a naval base, he's a base, because he wants to have what Tyler Perry has, his own studio to force. That's fine. All about your entrepreneurship and everything. But you gotta understand, Michael Jackson did do a lot of sacrificing in terms of taking his family on his back from Gary Indiana, very humble beginnings, Gary Indiana to Encino, California to Hollywood. And even when he arrived in an Encino state, which was the Jackson family home compound, they weren't welcome there. There was actually a petition to get them out because they didn't want black folks in the neighborhood. This was 1970, something like a little over 50 years ago. So people think that we're talking about something that happened 100 years ago or 80 years ago. It was only 50 years ago. The realities, the racism that he faced, the hostility he faced, also dealing with the verbal exchanges that his father and others within context put on him. And that's all he ever knew was to entertain people, along with being a shrewd businessman and one of the most successful artists ever and one of the most dominant artists ever. But when you talk about another person, make sure you got your facts straight. Make sure that you can say that you understand how the business operates. Because I want people to understand, regardless of where you come down on Michael Jackson, they hated him because he was the first brother that put them out there on Broad Street on their racism. That's why you got Rolling Stone magazine talking about "The Lady in My Life," which was song 9, is the worst album on a great album. Even though back in the day, as someone who knew what they thought of his solo career, which they downplayed his career, they wouldn't give him the cover. Them old janky award shows until Thriller was so dominant they had to acknowledge him were funny time with him. You Beyonce's got 34, 35 awards, and Jackson only has 13. You know something is wrong because he won 8 of them in one night and had 12 nominations, which was the record before they put Babyface and Santana up for the nominations. But everybody know Thriller was the standard. If the truth ever came out, Michael Jackson, if Beyonce got 34, 35, Michael Jackson would have 70. If we're going to be honest about the impact, the depth, and the magnitude of the actual music and the actual impact, if we telling the truth. But we don't be dealing truth because there's a lot of cap going on. But anyway, having said all that though, um, he understood the business side of buying the Beatles catalog, the masters, the publishing, what he went through with Tom Mottola, what he went through with Motown Barry Gordy to get his name, to fight for the rights. He fought for a lot of rights. As a matter of fact, Michael Jackson paid the way for Katt Williams because the entertainers to be put on these stages and a lot of things you do, Michael Jackson had to go frontline the scene with a lot of stuff. When you can take on a whole industry where a record company says if you don't play his videos, we can pull all artists off. You can't get more powerful than that, more dominant than that. I don't think people understand the totality of what he meant, what he represented. Because that was real apartheid as far as radio with black artists and the backlash with disco and the other factors that went on, his imagery, his videos, his appeal, his reach was the most dominant I have ever seen. And so Katt Williams getting educated about how the business is and what the fight is, yeah, it'll humble you. You got to understand the ones that came before you. Before you talk about putting someone in a routine, it's like the ones who did Sammy Davis Jr. You'd be surprised the price. It's one thing when people actually do stuff and then you want to lampoon and you go on that. But when people are going through what they went through with the hate that was openly, blatantly against him, Katt, you're a student of it. You speak on it. You should know what Michael Jackson represented, what he had to deal with. And to this day, they still be hating anything that acknowledges his success. They ate plenty off of him, but they want to. They really want to, try to downplay his significance, and they do it at every chance they get. So, anyway, Katt Williams opened that he regrets saying some of the jokes about Michael, and Janet was cool with him. So, anyway, that's all I got to say about that. I seen the clip. Anyway, let me know what you think. Please like, subscribe, welcome thoughts, comments, and I do respond. Thank you. Wash your hands. Keep your mind clear. Watch out for another shit if you like. Hit that membership. Stay safe, stay blessed, stay woke, stay free. I'm out. Peace.